But a lot of people sent me this story, so I kind of just wanted to chat with y'all, see where y'all were with this, and maybe even let y'all know what was going on, just in case you weren't aware. So I'm going to let people kind of hop in the chat. I know this is impromptu. If y'all are here, let me know. Give me some feedback in the chat. Give me a like. Yeah, y'all please go ahead and like this video. Like, share, subscribe to the channel, like this video so it can get out. And so we can just have a platform and just have a discussion to talk about this from a Christian perspective. So if you're in the building, please let me know in the comments section. All right. Anyway, okay. I see y'all coming on in. Let me know who's in here. Hello, Mrs. Wilson. Hey there. Hey there. Who else is here? Let y'all come in. All right. So let me go ahead and pull up my little slides. I had a few people send me this story this week. So everybody has seen what's going on with Tyre Nichols and that horrible, horrible situation. For obvious reasons, I'm not going to play that video. I'm not going to show any of his pictures after that video took place. But since y'all sent me this story, I felt like, I've been doing a lot of shows about Greek life. I think it's a good conversation to have. And so today we're going to talk about it. All right, Rachel. What's up, Rachel? Haven't seen you in a while. What's up, Chavis? I think I said it right that time. Who else is here? Hello, D. Gray. Hey, Chris. What's up, Sharonda? What's up, Willie? All right. Thank y'all for joining me. Okay. So what happened? We all know what happened with Tyre Nichols, but allegedly, 3 out of the 5 cops who were involved in that were members of the Omega Psi Phi fraternity. If y'all knew that, let me know in the comments section whether or not you were aware of that. So Hollywood Unlocked posted about this too. They said cop involved in Tyre Nichols' murder was former Omega Psi Phi president. Fraternity had previous scandals of disturbing hazing rituals. And then some person on, shout out to Bam on Twitter. I don't know Bam personally, but Hollywood Unlocked shared this post from Twitter. It says, talk about being on the wrong side of history. We are 5 days from the first day of Black History Month. All right. So what do y'all think? What do y'all think about this? Should we put any blame on Omega Psi Phi for what their members, and honestly, I don't even know if all of these guys are members. This is just what the internet is saying. Should we put any blame on them just because they might be a part of the fraternity? All right, Mario. Sorry, Mario. Mario says, you mean to tell me members of a Black fraternity founded on manhood, scholarship, perseverance, and uplift beat another Black man to death on video? I cannot vouch for this photograph that's here. It appears to be the video of Tyre Nichols. It appears to be that one of the cops was wearing his Omega bracelet during the whole situation. I don't know. Again, I can't vouch for this, but if y'all want to go back and look at the video, let me know whether or not this is legitimate. Let me know. Do you think that this matters? So does it matter that he's wearing this bracelet? If this is really the cop wearing the bracelet, does it matter that he's wearing this bracelet while this is taking place? Should we use that as a reason to put the blame on Omega Psi Phi? Because a lot of people on the internet have. What do y'all think? Chavis, you said it right. What did I say it right about, bro? Remind me, because I'm a little bit scatterbrained when I go live. All right. Ms. Mocha says if they don't kick them out, it would be questionable. Willie Doc says need more info. I think that's fair. And Lorraine says, are they active? Honestly, I have no idea. However, I will say this. I think that it is probable that at least one or some of them are actually Q-Dogs. And I say that because the Omegas put out a letter several days later. So they say, this is from headquarters or nationals, January 29, 2023, what we all saw on the news a couple of nights ago about the conduct of law enforcement officers leading to the untimely and tragic death of Mr. Tyre Nichols is unacceptable. Tyre should have made it home safely and unharmed with an opportunity to skateboard again. We expect law enforcement officers to protect life and serve our communities with the highest regard for safety and humanity. Unfortunately, what we witnessed of the violent behavior of the accused, now former officers, is the complete opposite. As we all travel this road of grief and mourn with Tyre's family, let there be no doubt of our resolve concerning holding all public service officials accountable for their actions, and in particular, holding these accused former officers accountable for their actions. We condemn their actions in the strongest possible way and call on our elected officials to immediately institute measures to put an end to the senseless killing of citizens in our communities by law enforcement officials. We extend our heartfelt and earnest sympathies to the family and friends of Mr. Nichols and pray for the entire Memphis community. May God give us all strength and comfort during these difficult times. All right, so they did address it. The fact that they addressed it makes me believe that some of them were actually Omegas. So was this statement good enough? All right, what does Chris say? I wouldn't go as far as blaming. Oh, sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. Uh-oh, let me come back. All right. I wouldn't go as far as blaming the fraternity for what happened to Tyre Nichols, but I will say it's a bad look. Just look at it like if they were professing Christians, we wouldn't blame Christians. All right. We wouldn't blame all Christians for their actions. Ms. Mocha says, I've seen people removed from other Greek organizations for far less. Yeah, I think, let's see, let's remove that for a second. I think that I think they needed to address it because their name was mentioned and because he was wearing that bracelet. And I think that what they said was smart, and I'm glad that they at least addressed it. Oh my goodness. What else are y'all saying? We can't blame the fraternity, but we can connect the spirit behind it. Okay. Anybody else? Oh, what's up? What's up, Brother Caldwell Apologetics? Thank you for joining in today. This is what I'll say. I wish that they had specifically admitted that, yeah, these are our members, and we're going to do such and such to our members because this is not something that we promote. But they didn't do that. Pretty much they said, I'm sorry that this happened to Tyre, but this don't have nothing to do with us. So let's just move right on along. And I guess if I was a part of their legal team at headquarters, I probably would have said the same thing. I guess I can't be mad at them, but I mean, if they're your members, they're your members. That's how I feel about it. What else y'all got to say? Okay. So moving right along. I asked the people on Instagram, my followers on Instagram, the same question. And so I just wanted to share with y'all some of the comments. All right. So Manny says, makes no sense to blame them, which is what my question was. If so, we would have to add that logic to everything. Julio says, no, but the police in that city should be. Now, if the Q Dogs killed a student on campus, then yes. So, all right, that's a whole bunch of no's. Okay. Gel, I don't even know how to pronounce that, but it says, definitely they should not be held liable. As someone else said, they made their very bad choices. Jay Ritchie says, that's a compelling question. I see what you did there. I can barely get this out, but look, people always bragging on the church about the type of people and the hurt it generates, but they don't run from these organizations with the same vigor and disgust and disdain. They keep on lining right on up for the paddle, to say the least. So Jay Ritchie's argument is that, people claim church hurt a lot. And as soon as someone says, I've been church hurt, now immediately, blame the whole church. The church is responsible. The church is this, church is that. But when organizations do something bad, it's like, well, that's not the organization. That's just one person. Okay, Verity says, nope, they shouldn't be held responsible, but they should acknowledge the situation. BGLOs do much to boast when one of their members accomplishes anything of note. They should be just as willing to address this case, which is of major public interest at the very least, to condemn the actions of the officer. So that's kind of similar to what Jay Ritchie said previously. Daily Encouragement said this was not an organization event in which this awful incident took place. I do believe their membership should be revoked. I agree. I think all of their membership should be revoked. However, I think if they end up doing some time, it's like, I don't know, is it even really necessary? But because they are affiliated, or at least some of them are affiliated, I do think it probably makes sense to snatch those letters. That's just my opinion. No, Omega Psi Phi should not be held responsible for this because, aside from the organization, these three gentlemen are individuals. The organization had nothing to do with it. You reaching. I'm not reaching because all I did was ask a question. That's all I did, ask a question, but I appreciate the feedback regardless. Okay. Cool Brown, Cal Brown. I think Cool or Cal. I think he is a member of a Greek fraternity. I'm not sure which one. He says, if they went to church, should we go after their pastors or denominations as well? And if they worked out, should we blame the places they have gym memberships at? I see what you're trying to do, but for real, stop it. They're members of D9 orgs that serve in various types of careers, including law enforcement, and it doesn't mean they participate or condone a man being brutally beaten. Every decision an individual makes, particularly bad ones, doesn't come down to the orgs they are affiliated with. Very respectfully, this is bad timing and very distasteful to try to bring this up. I understand your sentiments. I just disagree that we can't bring it up because I mean this is happening. You know what I'm saying? We can't just shy away from something negative just because we don't want to hurt people's feelings. This is a horrible thing that happened. Again, I haven't watched the entire video. I saw enough to know that it was bad. But I mean, if the fraternity's name was brought into it, why can't we discuss it? Why not? I don't agree with that. But again, I appreciate the feedback. All right. So Willie Doc says, would like to know how the frat's principles may have influenced their actions. Okay. And Crystal also wants to know the answer to that question. And you know what? That's really what I wanted to talk about while I'm on here for just a few more minutes. Are they responsible? I think legally they have nothing to do with what happened, right? Like, I don't think that there's any lawsuits that they should receive or like anybody at national, like that would be crazy. But I think a better question would be pretty much exactly what Willie asked. Do the frat's principles promote this kind of behavior? Well, I'm not sure how many of y'all have been following me for how long, but maybe about a year ago, I interviewed two XQs. One of them's name was Shahid, the other one was Brother P, and we walked through some of these rituals. So this is an alleged ritual from Omega Psi Phi's initiation ritual. Shahid confirmed that when he went through his process that he went through these particular rituals. So let's see what it says. It says, the Neo shall be conducted in a dark room in which there shall be previously placed a couch, a dagger or knife, and a dummy breast. The Neo is given the dagger to examine and hold in his right hand in a position for stabbing. A member shall lie up on the couch with his left breast bared of clothing, and the Neo shall be told to feel and interpret what is felt. He shall be made to realize what is felt is human flesh upon the region of the heart, and told to get his distance, for his is the duty of driving to the hilt, the dagger in his hand, into the breast he has just recognized. The member shall then quietly step aside, and the dummy breast substituted. The Neo shall now be commanded to stab. If he fails to stab, the hand clutching the dagger shall be made to execute the command. Piercing groans and cries of murder shall be made by the members, while same shall improvise means of, or I think it means to say some shall improvise means of getting the murderer from the grasp of the law. Under this guise, the Neo shall be conducted to the next test. Now, obviously, this is not them actually commanding people to commit murder, but I mean, this is a pretty violent ritual. And if you were unaware that this ritual existed, I mean, kind of sounds like you would think that you are possibly about to stab someone. All right, so I think this is the one. I asked Shahid about this, so let me see what Shahid had to say.
The type of hazing that you get.
Sorry, wrong one. Correctly, it sounds like they tried to make you think that you're about to stab somebody. Is that right?
Yeah, and we didn't practice that test the same exact way, but the purpose of that test is to, make you feel like you're about to actually stab somebody. And then when you actually stab the dummy in that specific way, then they're trying to scare you and make you feel like you failed the test.
All right, so People actually they're trying to convince these initiates that they're about to stab a real person during the process. I I didn't make that up. I didn't make that up. All right. The next one says the room shall be darkened, superfluous furniture removed, and the neo conducted therein. Such questions are here asked him, and answers exacted as shall give theoretical proof of his faith in those he calls friends. He shall hereupon be offered a pill containing methylene blue and told to swallow it. If he disobeys, the pill shall be forced down his throat under threat of severing his head from his body. This done, one of the members within hearing of the Neo shall exclaim, Alas, brother, you've made a terrible mistake. The pill you gave our friend is from the box, which contains poison. By this pill, his career is cut short, and he is thereby ushered prematurely into eternity. Here, all members shall go into a panic, calling for help, doctor, and sending word to his relatives and arranging for details of his funeral and assuring him of their friendship, even to the grave. He shall then be made to swallow quinine, being told that it is an antidote to the poison given him. So, I mean, I think that's violent, right? Again, why are you forcing someone to take a pill and then you're threatening to sever their head if they don't take the pill? That's pretty violent. Is it fair to say that? And so it's that kind of stuff that makes me think, I mean, this is not just a rogue fraternity or a rogue chapter or rogue incidents. If the entire fraternity is having the members do these rituals, I mean, you kind of are indoctrinating them to violence, right? Those are my thoughts just on those rituals. But while we're talking about these old interviews that I did from last year or the year before last, I did want to remind everybody of what Brother Pete and Shahid had to say about their individual experiences with being hazed by that fraternity.
Much every day. While you, this is the type of hazing that you get pretty much every day while you're online or anytime you go to set. Like you can be hazing this way or any other ways. So it's not like these bruises and stuff happen on one night throughout the whole entire process. This happens multiple times. This just happened to be the day I took the picture. On that left picture, you can almost see like a big handprint, like towards the middle. So this is only hands, being slapped against your body, etc. And people of my skin complexion are a lot more sensitive. This is a lot more visible. But this is just being slapped left and right, with different hands, etc. And some people, it can get a lot worse than that. You get hit in your legs, with different stuff, different items at times. Even another form of hazing is, just a more common form of hazing is being paddled on the butt. So your butt can look just as bad as that does, if not
Me and
worse.
my line brother was in a house and they got me from work, and I had on dress pants and they just snatched me from work, threw me in the car, and me and him went to this house straight into the cut. And when we went in the cut, I had got so much wood, but not with no regular jeans on. I had these dress pants on that my behind started bleeding. So the blood was coming through the pants. So they stopped me from getting wood. And then my line brother, he took all and when I say wood, I'm talking about 4 strokes, manhood scholarship, perseverance, uplift for everybody on the line before we pledged. And it was like 15 or 12 of them dudes. So I went through like, I think 6 of them until I started bleeding. And then he went through for both of us, all of that. And I watched him get up after about 8 or 9 strokes. And I saw a tear, like he cried, but he wasn't crying. It was just and then he went back down. He never came back up, and they kept beating him, but he was just a hardcore Bamberg, South Carolina brother. And I watched him stay in the cut for all of that wood, 80 strokes or so.
80 strokes. Okay. So Brother P said after a few strokes, he started bleeding because the pants that he was wearing were, I guess, thinner than jeans. So when they struck him with that paddle, the impact was felt a lot more and actually broke the skin. So once they saw the bleeding, they told him to stop, and then they hit his brother 80 times with the paddle. So yeah, I mean that's pretty bad. And I know those are former members, so these are people who have denounced. But I did also want to play a very familiar song that they sing at their probate. Sorry, guys. Let me go ahead and bring this up. Let me see if I can share my screen. Present, share screen. Do. Okay. So this is the why were they treated so bad? I don't why were they treated so bad? What does that even mean? It seems like, they're kind of admitting we go through bad things just to become members of this fraternity, right? All right. And then there's another thing I noticed. Like, I've been watching some of these probates for a while. And why is somebody always on crutches? Maybe not always, but this is interesting to me. These are two different probates from years apart. Oh, y'all couldn't hear anything? Oh, no. Okay. Hold on. Let me try it again. I know what I did. Okay. Hold on. No, I got to bring it back. Let's see. Sorry, you guys. If y'all are watching and you have not given me a thumbs up yet, please go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Leave me a comment in the comment section while I pull up this video and try it again. Because I think I had it muted. Let's see. I think I had it muted. We're going to try this again. Okay. Sorry, y'all. Technical difficulties. Okay. But those who pledge, y'all know what song I'm talking about. Let's see. Crystal Farrell says, yes, literally, there's always someone on crutches. Why is someone always on crutches? Seriously. All right. We're going to try this again. Have y'all given me a thumbs up yet? Tell me a comment. I need a comment in the comment section, not on the live chat. So, I appreciate y'all giving me comments in the live chat, but I specifically mean in the comment section. That's what helps these videos get out there. All right. So let's see, full screen. Sorry, y'all. I'm not the best with technology. You know what? I'll hold that off until the end. Let's continue the conversation because I don't want to take away from what we've already been talking about. But somebody's always on crutches, and why? Okay, so I also wanted to talk about some of the things I've been reading on this whole ideology of hazing. This is a book by Hank Newer. Hank Newer has been, he's been researching hazing for decades, literally since the 70s. And there's 2 chapters in this book that address hazing in African-American fraternities and sororities. So in the chapter, Listening to the Voices of the Hazed, Ashley Stone says this: if modern hazing is so brutal, why has there been no official cessation of it by BGO leaders, that's Black Greek Organization leaders? Speaking to the maintenance and continuity of hazing practices, Gregory S. Parks and Tamara L. Brown state, intuitively, another likely explanation is that a significant number of BGLOs condone the practice, either actively or passively, and that group officials have yet to propose a suitable alternative. And then in the next page, they say, while these practices are seemingly contradictory to the mission and values of Black fraternities, Parks and Brown pose that because there is such a strong need for this rite of passage, providing a transition from adolescence to adulthood, from prospective membership to full-fledged membership, banning pledging outright is likely counterproductive. Wow. So pretty much what they're saying is it's very hard to get rid of hazing, because in order to get rid of hazing, you have to get rid of pledging. And the process of pledging is pretty much like what you need in order to form a true brotherhood and sisterhood. So that's why the fraternity, the leaders are kind of like, what can we do? We've made an intake process and we've said we are against hazing, but people still perceive that you have to earn it in order to be validated as being a legit member of the organization. So it's a problem. I don't know if it's possible for them to solve it. And that's pretty much the conclusion that the author of that chapter and even some of the other books that I've read have said. How do you fix this? Ricky Jones, he is a member of Kappa Alpha Psi, and he's like, we got to get these organizations off these campuses because it's not going to stop. So there's that. All right. And then I also wanted to bring this up too. Let me pull this back up. Let me see. All right, so a lot of the fraternities and sororities, they sing this Invictus, or they say this Invictus poem. When Alan Parr did his, he did a video on Greek life, and he talked about his experience pledging. I think he's an alpha or was an alpha, whatever. So he pledged alpha, and he said he had to recite Invictus, which is a poem that doesn't really seem to coincide with, Christianity. I know we're not technically talking about Christianity here, but I think it's important to look at it. So Invictus is by William Ernest Henley. It says, out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloodied, but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. So this sounds like someone who's working from an atheistic perspective, which means like if there's no God, that means that human value is really nothing more than opinion. So if that's just opinion, then why should you value anyone? And when we get into the mindset of a fraternal brotherhood, it puts your brothers like more important than everyone else who's not your brothers. Now they would say, okay, God is most important, and then your family, and then if you're in school, and then the fraternity. But I mean, some of these people won't even tell their wives what they do. And like, I get it, it's a secret society and all that, but why are you a part of something that is so secretive that involves your personal life that you can't talk to your spouse about? I think that's kind of a red flag. And the lack of human value kind of is pushed to the forefront when you continue to see acts of hazing where people are seriously injured, like Brother P talked about, like we just saw with Shaheed. People seriously get injured. It's not just Omega Psi Phi. It's not even just Black fraternities and sororities. Hazing is a problem across many different Greek organizations, but still it's like that common mindset that you've got to earn it, and belittling someone just to make sure that they understand how special this particular group of people is. But I'm saying all that because if you think that one human is not as valuable as another human, I could see how that could lead to acts of violence that people really have no conviction over unless they're called out for it. Let me see. What are y'all saying in here? Well, the officer texts his girlfriend a pic of Nicholas from my research. Okay. Y'all talking about that rumor. From what I've heard, that rumor has been totally debunked. The family is saying that it's not true. And I believe the rumor was that the cops were targeting Nichols because of a relationship with a female, and the family saying that's not at all true. So if that's what y'all talking about, that's what I just read. They were acting like a gang, and at the end of the day, that's what sororities and fraternities are. Along with police, they all go hand in hand. Now, I don't want to get on here bashing police. We need our police officers, so I definitely don't want to do that. And I really don't even want to bash fraternities and sororities because they do a lot of good, but I think it's disingenuous, or it's really not fair to claim accolades for all of the good things, but then when your members do bad things, you don't want to accept that. And it's like, if these are your people, these are your people, regardless of whether or not you want to accept that. But y'all chose them, they did this. So I did want to just say that. All right, now as Christians, how are we supposed to look at situations like this? Because as people, we are all tempted to devalue other people. And that's just not what we're supposed to do if we're truly going to be walking with the Lord. I wanted to bring about Proverbs 1:10. It's amazing that even though the Bible is thousands of years old, it still speaks to the culture. It is always very relevant to the culture at hand. Proverbs 1:10 says, "My son, if sinners entice you, do not consent. If they say, 'Come with us, let us lie in wait for blood, let us ambush the innocent without reason.' My son, do not walk in the way with them. Hold back your foot from their paths, for their feet run to evil and they make haste to shed blood. For in vain is a net spread in the sight of any bird, but these men lie in wait for their own blood. They set an ambush for their own lives." So the Bible is clearly saying violence is not acceptable, not even if you're doing it to get into a fraternity or sorority. It's dangerous. It can, hurt people, and you can get into a lot of trouble for it. So whether it's that or whether it's being a part of, a team where you have the authority to inflict pain and maybe not even be held responsible for it, but you shouldn't do things like this. If those cops had Proverbs 1:10 in the forefront, or at least somewhere floating around in there, maybe all this could have been avoided, right? And then Luke 10:30 through 37. This is a very, very important passage. And I think it is something that all Christians we should all love this passage, because Jesus, who's like the best preacher in all time, said this. Jesus took up the question and said, "A man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho and fell into the hands of robbers. They stripped him, beat him up, and fled, leaving him half dead. A priest happened to be going down that road. When he saw him, he passed by on the other side. In the same way, a Levite, when he arrived at the place and saw him, passed by on the other side. But a Samaritan on his journey came up to him, and when he saw the man, he had compassion. He went over to him and bandaged his wounds, pouring on olive oil and wine. Then he put him on his own animal, brought him to an inn, and took care of him. The next day he took out 2 denarii, gave them to the innkeeper, and said, 'Take care of him. When I come back, I'll reimburse you for whatever extra you spend.' Which of these three do you think proved to be a neighbor to the man who fell into the hands of the robbers? The one who showed mercy to him," he said. Then Jesus told him, "Go and do the same." That's the parable of the Good Samaritan. And yeah, I think even if you have the right to do something, it doesn't mean that you always should. And I think it's obvious that what those cops did was an extreme, extreme abuse of power, and it ultimately cost Tyre his freedom his life, or at least allegedly. They're saying that it cost him his life because 3 days later he did pass away. We don't know for sure all the details, so I'm sure they're still investigating that. But it seems like the reason that he is no longer with us is because of that attack. And it also cost them their own freedom, right? We have to treat people like God loves them, because God does love them. We got to treat everybody like they have human value. Not saying that cops don't always have, sometimes they have to, they have to use force, but we're talking about excessive force here. So do y'all, what is there anything else y'all wanted to say while I try to pull this video back up of the Zoom Zoom song? What are your final thoughts on this? I just wanted to give us, the ability to kind of talk about this, because a lot of times the Christian perspective is unheard, and our perspective matters, right? Y'all got any other feedback? Anything else you want to say? All hearts and minds clear? Move from the studio, and I'm gonna pull this other video back up. Have y'all given me a thumbs up yet? Please appreciate that. And also, I know some people ask me this too. They say, "Miss Ty, how can we support you?" Here's my Cash App. I hate to be that person. But y'all asked, so here it is. If you want to support me, there's my Cash App. I appreciate it. And please like this video. All right. The Zoom Zoom song. The Zoom Zoom song. Hold on, y'all. Y'all bear with your girl. Do y'all think Omega Psi Phi should have been held responsible? Ultimately, my answer to that question is no, they're not responsible But I do believe that some of the things taught in Greek life influences the worldview of its members, and it comes out in how they treat people sometimes. So those are my thoughts. Have you given me a thumbs up? Sorry, I'm reopening up my YouTube, y'all. I'm having like some serious computer problems today. Don't mind me. Take this off. There it is. Okay. I promise.
Okay, never mind.
Okay. Present, share screen. We're going to try this one more again. Chrome tab. No, not the window. Okay. Tell me if y'all can hear it this time.
Let's go. Moment of silence, please. Somebody tell me why were we treated so bad? Oh, I want to know. I need to know. I gotta know. Why were we treated so bad? I go to sleep sick and wake up early at 8. 2 hours of sleep. I go to see my big brother. Oh, but I'm always late. Somebody tell me why. Why were we treated so bad? Oh, I want to know. I need to know. I gotta know. Why were we treated so bad? I got a name in my phone. And I just wanna go home. I wanna see my sweet lady. Because I feel so alone. Somebody tell me why. Why were we treated so bad? You the fucking bros. You made it. Oh, you made it, nigga. He the bros now. Why were
Didn't expect them to drop that big F-bomb, but there it is. Sorry. Well, anyway, I enjoyed y'all today. Thank y'all for hanging out with me this afternoon. Be on the lookout for me to put out some more material or content about Greek life, because y'all know that's like my passion right now. I'm not trying to pick on the Greeks, but it's an important topic to have because they claim to be Christian religious organizations. So that is all I have to say, and thank y'all for joining. Again, please give your girl a like, subscribe to the channel if you like this, and I'll see y'all the next time.